I was just the weird kid in our town. Then I did something that made the whole town stay weird forever. I didn't just grow up in the middle of nowhere. I grew up in the weird part of nowhere. A lumpy little town tucked into the Appalachian mountains where the fog never quite cleared, the dogs barked at empty fields, and people whispered about family secrets like they were currency. It was the kind of place where nobody locked their doors, but everyone locked their minds. The town was called Gristle Creek. No idea why. There was no creek, and the only thing gristly about it was the meatloaf at the school cafeteria. The main road had more potholes than pavement, and the church doubled as a funeral home and, during tornado season, a very optimistic community theater. People there lived by 3 rules. Don't talk to outsiders, don't walk alone past midnight, and don't ask about the basement under the old general store. And in the middle of all this, there was me, Jonnifer McFartlebee. A name that should have been illegal in at least 17 states. It was supposed to be Jonathan, but my mother went into labor during a church potluck and someone yelled, "It's a boy, name him Jonnifer," as if I was a joke right from the moment I popped out. And well, here we are. Kids in Gristle Creek weren't cruel in the traditional way. They didn't beat you up or steal your lunch. No, they used silence, like a weapon. I was that kid everyone just didn't speak to, like I was background noise. Teachers would forget to call on me even when my hand was raised. At one point, the school printed yearbooks and left my name out entirely, twice. I became a ghost who breathed. Still, I didn't want to disappear. So I leaned into the weird. I brought lunchboxes full of canned peaches and told people they were from the future. I wore socks on my hands and told kids I was allergic to skin. In hindsight, not my strongest PR moves, but when you've been erased, even a bad impression is something. My house was the last one before the forest started, dense trees that creaked even when there was no wind. My dad was a locksmith, my mom worked at the library, and both of them had the air of people who had given up trying to make sense of the world. They told me things like, "Don't whistle after dark," and "If someone knocks and you don't see them, don't open the door." You'd think I'm setting you up for a horror story. But no, this is just my life. Now, there's one story people still talk about, the incident, the unhinged thing that became legend. It was senior year, and I had finally reached the boiling point. Some kid named Cletus Spittoonley, son of Sir Reginald Spittoonley of Gloucestershire, a wealthy banker from London, had started a rumor that I slept in a coffin and ate drywall. I didn't. The coffin part, maybe, long story, but the drywall was a lie. So I snapped. Not in a dangerous way, in a devious way. We had a big school assembly for some anti-bullying campaign, the irony wasn't lost on me, and I decided to make my mark. I borrowed my mom's old wedding dress, she hadn't looked at it in years, covered it in fake moss and feathers, and showed up as the spirit of consequences. I walked onto the stage during the principal's speech, dragging chains made from plastic spoons and humming Ave Maria. People lost their minds, the principal screamed, the mascot fainted, one teacher yelled, "It's happening again!" and tried to climb out the gym window. I didn't say a word, I just walked a full circle around the stage, handed the school bully a single goose feather, and left. I was suspended for a week. But from that day on, people looked at me differently. Not necessarily better, but differently.